So who was Martin Luther King? Who was he?
I'm interested in seeing because what's your explanation as to why these kids are Martin Luther King? I certainly haven't heard that one in the media.
No, and nor will you. But if you watch them, you will.
Because they
peaceful, they never struck back. In fact, several times in watching the video, you will hear leaders, and I don't mean adult leaders, I mean kids who were taking a leadership position. They're just a bunch of kids standing around waiting for a bus. That's what's happening here. Okay, they didn't organize to all be a part of something. They were already done with what they were doing. So now here's a group of kids on their own waiting for the buses by the Lincoln Memorial. And you will hear several times in the tape kids saying to other kids, "Don't engage them. Don't engage. Don't engage. Don't do it.
It's impressive.
Stop." It's really impressive. This school, first of all, the school condemned the kids without having knowledge. And I understand the pressure the school was under, et cetera, but you should have waited. You should have waited and had more faith in your kids. And I hope that you have a rally when you get back, when they all get back to school today or tomorrow, and you have a rally and you say to them, "Congratulations, you stood exactly the way Jesus Christ would have stood."
I don't know if Jesus Christ is smirking as much as that kid, but that's how I would have been in high school too.
That kid was not smirking.
I think he kind of was, but that didn't.
If you look,
there's an absurdity of that moment when you're in it that would make me. I know in high school in particular, I would totally. The only thing I would be thinking about is the absurdity of what it looked like.
That's I think what he is smiling about.
Yeah.
If you watch the tape, you can see that moment, and it's a fleeting moment. Okay. And it is truly had to be, if you watch it, everybody's had this. You've had this smirk.
Yeah.
And it's not making fun. It's just like, this is insane.
Yeah. The situation I'm in the middle of is crazy.
Correct. He's not making fun of this Native American at all.
He would have to say something. You can't smile to make fun of someone. You have to say something. You have to express some level of derogatory thought, and he never does that.
Okay, so these kids, they're shouting about their school. They're doing a chant about their school. The Native Americans walk up, and you can hear them taunting these white kids, okay? But only the kids on the periphery may, and I say may, be aware because it's cacophony. And so if you're following the cameras from the Native American point of view, you're hearing them talk about these kids and talk about how these white kids are bad, blah, 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 these just white kids. But the kids are engaged in just doing school spirit stuff, okay? And they're chanting about their school. The Native Americans then walk up, and the guy is doing the drum, and he happens to be, he's not planning it, I'm sure. It just happens to fall in beat with the kids' chants. So at first, the kids are all thinking, this is cool. This Native American guy is coming up and he's helping us with a chant, and you can hear them.
I think
some of the kids
too,
say,
right?
Yeah, some of the kids are like, this is so cool. They think the Native American is a friend. And they're
because their chants essentially were to drown out the third group, the
black Jews.
Yeah, Hebrew Israelites or whatever. They're saying things like, gay slurs and all sorts of things. They are unquestionably doing really bad things.
Yes.
And so that they decided to do this school spirit thing to drown that out. And they thought initially this Native American was helping them because they were on the good side of things. Right.
And they thought the drum, which it was, if you listen to it, it was keeping beat. Mm-hmm. Now, I think it just happened to be that way. I don't know. But it seemed, if you were in the crowd, that it was just that he was on their side. The kids even say, this is so cool. Then, because of the taunts, you realize, these guys aren't friends. But not everybody, because if you watch multiple cameras done by the kids, some of the kids get it much earlier. Other kids, all the way to the end, are saying, what's going on? What's happening? Okay? Nobody knows what's happening. This kid, I think, I haven't spoken to him, but I think he knows what's going on. And he knows you're not going to do this, man. We're not going to break. But it's so important that you hear one of the kids being yelled at by the Native Americans. And can you give me, Sarah, can you ask Mike which one it is where the kid actually says, I've got so many cuts here, where the kid says, don't do it. The drum is being beaten. One of the kids is being taunted, and he's being taunted. And what the Native American says is, you white people, you're just being white. The only way you know how to react is white. And you think this is your land? This isn't your land. Get off our land. Go back to Europe. So one of the kids, very reasonably, very calmly says, no, this is everybody's land. And the Native American says, we were here first. You took our land. And the kid says, so wait a minute, can we just go back in time? Let's go back to Africa, where all the continents were together and we were all one people. And we've all traveled from there. So were we stealing land then? I mean, it's everybody's land. That is when the guy who is standing in front of the Indian with a drum, that's the only time he breaks. And he puts his hand up and looks at the kid and says, hey, stop it. Stop it. Meaning, don't engage. Don't. They're just trying to get you angry. Don't. When the kid continues to respond reasonably, that's when the kid who is sneering at the Native American turns around and says, come on, let's go, and leaves. That's exactly what Martin Luther King would do.